Alright, ladies. Alright, gents. We have another battle here with the Fulham himself. Fulham. And this guy's a guy who probably does not live in Fulham, but that's fine. Let's take a look at these teams. It's an OU match. And, yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say about that, except, both of us are actually using a Pokemon that was, recently sent up to OU. That was previously actually not even UU. I'm using Quagsire, he's using a Moongus. Both are Pokemon that, have kind of risen the ranks due to their bulky nature, so we'll see how it goes. So I lead with my Volcanion, as he leads with Excadrill, and these things are usually Scarf, and I am Scarf, but he has a higher base speed, so I don't want to risk, dying. So I go to Hippowdon, figuring that if he goes for an Earthquake, I should be able to take it okay. If he does go for a Rock Slide, which I was hoping for, then I can also take that okay, because he was predicting a Switch. He was probably predicting my Tornadus to take the Earthquake. But yeah, I just go into Hippo, because Hippo is a physical, bulky monster. So he goes into his Landorus, which is always a good Pokemon to go into, except I actually don't know why he would go into it against Hippo. Hippo, pretty much can wall this thing. He probably just wants to set up Stealth Rocks as well, and that's what he does. I'm just going to now try to go for the Whirlwind. I don't know if he has a way to get rid of Stealth Rocks. He probably does, and in that case, I'm kind of really hoping to get him to switch into Charizard here, because that would take some nice X4 damage from it, which actually is half of his HP, so that's really cool. Anyway, so he goes for an Earthquake, as I go for an Earthquake as well, and he was predicting that I would Whirlwind, and I thought that he would think that I would Whirlwind, so I just go for an Earthquake for some nice damage against Excadrill, and it does end up happening, and now I am going to Whirlwind, predicting a Switch, and as you can see, he does indeed switch, so, yeah, just a nice set of predictions for me, as he tries to go into a Moongus to get the free Spore off, pretty much, but, no. Not this time, Fulham, as he just goes out back into Excadrill, which I'm sure he does not want to be in. Yeah, he does his Molt Breaker again, and he doesn't really want to lose Excadrill quite yet, so I didn't think he would risk staying in, so I believe he switches out, and I also go for another Whirlwind. Actually, correction, I believe I actually go for a Slack Off here, figuring that it's a safe play no matter what, just to recover HP in case he wants to try to get more damage on me with Earthquake. I figured it was a pretty good move. He ends up just going into Landorus, and I do get the Slack Off. I'm going to go for the Whirlwind now, knowing that Landorus can't do anything to me. He's probably just going to stay in and try to get damage, and he does. And, like I said, I'm still trying to get Charizard out here, but unfortunately for me, luck is not with me. I end up Whirlwinding him into a Moongus, which is really the worst thing that could have happened, because this thing can Spore, and I have no Pokemon that can negate, Spore. I have no Pokemon that are immune to it on my team, so I pretty much have to choose which Pokemon I want, alive, or around, least. And yeah, I choose Tornadus, for two reasons. A, Tornadus does actually kind of counter a Moongus, but looking at my team, all of my Pokemon are kind of required, except for maybe this thing, so I'm like, okay, it'll take the sleep. I'm hoping that it can wake up eventually, but, yeah. Anyway, so I do decide to switch out, predicting Sludge Bomb. Not that I would have taken that much from it anyway. Moongus doesn't have great attacking stats, but as I just go into Scizor, he ends up switching out as well, and just goes out into Excadrill, which is kind of okay with me, considering this thing, looking at its HP, will definitely be taken out by a Bullet Punch. So that's what I go for, and I do indeed take this thing out, so I don't have to deal with that annoying Excadrill anymore. And more importantly, this is probably his Pokemon with Rapid Spin, so now he's going to have to take that damage on Charizard, but he does make a very good play here, knowing that I'm locked into Bullet Punch, thinking that I am indeed a Choice Bander, and I am. He's going to switch in. If I wasn't a Choice Bander, I would have to switch out, because I wouldn't want to risk a Fire Attack. But he's going to go ahead and Roost here, which is an excellent play, because that pretty much negates that damage. And now that he's Mega Evolved, he's only going to take 25% upon switching in, due to the type changing from Fire Flying to Fire Dragon. I mean, he's only X2 weak to it, so still a lot of damage, but not nearly as much. So yeah. Anyway, he's going to switch out, because he doesn't want to stay in against Quagsire. As I'd actually just go for a Curse. Probably not a smartest move, since I know he could just switch into a Moongus, but for some reason I thought he might stay in and try to get some damage on my Quagsire, but he does not, and I really can't do anything to a Moongus, and I really don't want to take a Grass move. Now he's going to switch out here, predicting my switch, which, and I think it ended up working out for him. He goes into Gengar, and I'm just going to switch as well, going out into my Tornadus, and yeah, I don't really think Tornadus can take moves very well from this Gengar. Now, my Tornadus is weak to Stealth Rocks, but I do have Regenerator on it, obviously, so that kind of negates that. So my Tornadus is not super afraid of Stealth Rocks. Anyway, he's just going to go for a Sludge Wave. I go into Quagsire, predicting it, and I just have to hope this Gengar doesn't have a Grass move, which is basically what I'm hoping for. A lot of Gengars sometimes Gengars can carry, Giga Drain or Energy Ball, and I think Energy Ball. But not this one, thank God, and I'm just going to go for a Waterfall to get damage. I really should have just actually went for the Recover to see what he would do. But unfortunately, that's not what I do. He actually does a surprising amount with Shadow Ball, but it is stabbed, and Gengar is pretty strong, so I guess I shouldn't be that shocked. I'm going to lose Quagsire here, and that's just not good, but thankfully the Gengar is nearly dead as well. So I go out into my Volcanion. I am Scarfed. I don't think he is. In fact, I know he's not, because I see the Life Orb damage, and I'm just going to try to kill him, and I just go for a Steam Eruption, and that is going to take out the Gengar, so I really could have finished him off with any of my moves. I get a crit. Oh boy, that mattered. Yeah, he's going to go into Amoonguss now, thinking that I am indeed Scarfed, and can't switch into Overheat. He's watched my battles before, and he knows the only Volcania I have is Scarfed. Maybe I'll switch up that set randomly. I'll just use TMs and stuff to change it, just to surprise people at some point. Anyways, we goes to a Sludge Bomb as I go out into Tornadus. As you can see, it really doesn't do a whole lot. I'm going to actually try to burn a turn of Sleep here, as he decides to switch out into Alakazam, which is a good play, knowing that I'd probably try to burn a turn of Sleep, and this thing can probably kill me. So I'm going to switch out, and I go out into my Scizor. I don't really even know why. I know that most of my Pokemon, no matter if he predicts correctly, he's going to do damage no matter what. And I ended predicting right. He does try to go for a Psyshock, and Scizor was the best Pokemon I had to take that. He's going to switch out now, going back into Charizard, as I believe I go for a Bullet Punch? Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to hit that Alakazam. It ends up doing a decent chunk to Charizard. In fact, it does about a quarter. But not nearly enough. So I go out into Hippowdon again, hoping that I can take the physical attacks of this Charizard X. Do get the Sandstream up again as well, as he does get off that Dragon Dance, and yeah, that's going to put it at scary levels of attack power. And yeah, I'm just going to munch on my leftovers now. And I have to hope that I can take an attack. He goes for a Fair Blitz, which is super powerful from a Charizard X after a Dragon Dance. But as you can see, Hippowdon is just a beast, and that's the only way you can put it. It's just outstanding. I thought he was actually going to try to go for a Roost. It doesn't really matter. Earthquake hits him either way. In fact, he's not Flying type anymore. But now that is going to leave my Hippowdon at a really low amount of HP, though. He's going to go into Alakazam. I figure, you know what? I'm just going to risk going for the Slack Off. And yeah, he goes for the Focus Blast. Kind of a bad move. I know he's predicting another Pokemon, but he could have finished off Hippowdon if he used a higher accuracy move. Now, yeah, it is a bit unlucky for him to miss and then miss again, but he could have just pretty much killed me with a higher accuracy. If you use Psyshock, I know it does physical damage, but I was dead if he does that, so questionable tactics there. I know that he was probably trying to hit Scizor or something, but yeah. Anyway, does go for an Earthquake now to finish off the Zam, and that's pretty nice due to the miss, and yeah, that did probably matter, that miss, but I think he could have played it a bit safer. Anyway, I'm just going to keep munching on my leftovers now, as he switches out into Amoonguss again. Pretty safe play overall. I'm going to switch out, hoping that I can get Hippowdon healed up again later. So I switch out into my Tornadus. Like I said, Tornadus does take moves from this thing pretty nicely from what I've seen. He's going to double switch, though, and yeah, he goes out into Landorus, so that was a nice prediction. The Genies are going to fight each other now, except obviously Landorus has the edge, because A, he's awake, and B, I didn't wake. Well, yeah. A, he's awake, and he also has Stone Edge. I was going for a U-turn, hoping to wake up. That's actually not a great play for me, because now I don't have Sleep Fodder on my team anymore, which means he can Spore another Pokemon if I so let him, so that's not wonderful. I just go into Hippowdon again, and I'm just going to try to slack off to get HP back. He's able to switch his moves, because he's not, choice in any way, and as you can see, that Hippowdon, man. Hippowdon, the physical tank of the century. There you go. And Hippowdon is just tanking and doing all that and just being amazing and stuff. In comes back Amoonguss, and yeah, I'm just going to slack off again, just in case he wanted to keep hitting me. Probably a bad play, but now he can go for a Spore again, and I really had to think about what I want to let get Spored now. I mean, Sleep is a super powerful condition if you have no way to deal with it, and I don't, so gonna switch out, going to Scizor. Knowing he's going to just Spore, but I know that he can't do anything to Scizor, so at the very least I can burn a turn of Sleep here, and I hope that I get a little bit more lucky with the Sleep turns with Scizor than I did with, Tornadus. But, yeah, I'm just going to switch out because I thought that he was going to switch out, and I'm predicting a double switch here. I go in on Tyranitar, but he ends up staying in, so that's not wonderful. In fact, actually, I don't know why I would predict that either. I know that I can take Sludge, but I actually don't know why I went into Tyranitar here. Looking back on it, oh well. I know that I can take a special move pretty nicely, and he ends up going for a Sludge Bomb, I guess predicting my switch, not going for a Giga Drain. I don't know why he wouldn't go for that. I don't know. I'm just very confused about this part of the battle. I'm going to Mega Evolve now. This is my Mega, and I make a mistake here. I really should have went for the Crunch, because I know that I really have only 2 turns, especially since he got the Poison off the Sludge Bomb, which is kind of annoying. But I know I only have about 2 turns. It would have been more damage if I just went for 2 Crunches, but I went for a Dragon Dance for some reason. As he just goes for a Giga Drain. I really should have just went for 2 Crunches, but yeah, that was a mistake on my part. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for a Crunch now. I'm not going to be able to live another one. I'm just hoping to cripple this Amoonguss enough, but it's really hard to cripple Amoonguss because Amoonguss has Regenerator, which is one of the reasons that it's ascended to OU, and the other reason is because his... I actually don't want to spoil it. I will not spoil it, but, yeah, he does take out my Tyranitar, and that was kind of questionable on my part. I guess I just was trying to preserve Scizor. I really shouldn't have been... I mean, Scizor is useful, but at the same time, it's also asleep. So, not wonderful for me. I go back into Volcanion, knowing that I can scare him away with an Overheat, but at the same time, I know that an Overheat will pretty much kill, or that means 2 a KO, any of his Pokemon remaining, so I actually feel pretty confident here, even despite sacking Tyranitar. I know I have the Pokemon advantage, and with my Scarf Volcanion, I feel like I can win, but I suffered an Overheat miss, and I know I probably deserve that due to the 2 Focus Blast misses earlier, but Overheat only has it's 90% accuracy. It usually hits, and that really does hurt though because I don't want to risk not killing it. In fact, I probably should have risked it because I might have been able to kill that Landorus anyway. Looking back on it, because Overheat is super powerful, probably a misplay on my part, not just trying to finish it off. Oh well, he's gonna U-turn now, and he's gonna go right back into that annoying Amoonguss thing. As I believe I just go for a Whirlwind pointlessly, and it pretty much gives him a free heal due to his Regenerator ability. No, I just go for a Slunk Off. I lied. But either way, I'm going to have to switch out against this now because I don't want to take a Grass move. I don't want to lose Hippowdon because if I lose Hippowdon, I really don't have a switch-in for Landorus. My Hippowdon, I feel confident just walling Landorus, although it's not like I can really do much to Landorus either, considering I only have, I believe, Earthquake is my attacking move. But still, I just go back into Scizor, knowing that I can take pretty much anything, even these Giga Drains. And looking at that, I actually feel pretty confident that I can take, like, 3 of those Giga Drains. Actually, I could probably take 2 more without dying, so I'm going to try to wake up here. First turn, it doesn't work out for me, and yeah, he's going to be able to get off another Giga Drain. But I have to hope that I can wake up again. I think I have 2 more turns, and I end up waking up this turn, I believe, and getting off a knockoff just to negate its free healing it's getting from Black Sludge. At this point, I didn't think that it had another way to heal, so it was just relying on its Black Sludge as well as its Regenerator ability. So that's what I'm going to do, and at this point I can't switch back in because, basically because of my, his Stealth Rocks. But he has Synthesis, and that's actually kind of tacky. I've never seen Synthesis really on Amoonguss these days, mainly because of the Regenerator ability makes it kind of, not required, but it really works out for him here because I was just trying to get that Amoonguss as weak as possible with Knockoff, but he's going to be able to heal way more than I'm dealing with Knockoff, and I'm just going to keep going for it. I really probably should have switched. I don't even know. I probably should have switched just to avoid this from happening, getting back to full health with that Amoonguss. But, what can you do? At the very least, I'm going to be able to get a knockoff on this Landorus. I get rid of the Yachi Berry it has, although it doesn't take as much damage due to that Intimidate. But Landorus does not have a way to heal itself, and I am going to switch out now. I guess I'll keep Scizor for Death Fodder as I go back into Hippowdon because I know I can take pretty much whatever. And, let's see what he does. He goes, I believe, just for an Earthquake. Or an attacking move. No, he goes for a U-turn. That works too. And that actually works out even better because he's going to go right back into Amoonguss. And this Amoonguss is doing a lot of work right now. So that's a thing again. Back into Amoonguss. Anyway, I just can't think of anything else to say. So, sorry for that silence. I'm going to switch out again into Scizor. And that does kill off Scizor. He can Spore again, so that's what I was thinking. Obviously, Scizor can't take the Spore, but I can now get off a free switch into Volcanion. And I know that he has to switch out against Volcanion because he doesn't want to stay in and lose Amoonguss to an Overheat. That's pretty much the last thing he wants right now. So he is going to switch out. He's going to respect Volcanion Goes out in a Landorus, and I'm hoping, okay, at least can it hit now? And I do hit the, 3 HP Landorus with an Overheat. Unfortunately for me, due to the fact that he has the Sands, due to the fact of his Stealth Rocks, in conjunction with my Sandstorm, I'm not going to be able to switch back Volcanion in. So, I have -2 attack. His last Pokemon is this Amoonguss, and I have to hope that I can do enough damage with this Overheat because my only other Pokemon is Hippowdon, so it's really do or die here, and it does not kill, but he goes for a Synthesis, which is a huge misplay. He would have won if he went for Spore. He forgot that Synthesis does not work as well in the Sandstorm. Synthesis only works if you have Sunny Day Up, which works even better, or it works if there's no weather condition. And because of that, even at -4 special attack, another Overheat will do it, and that is my game. He really misplayed hard at the end. If he just would have went Spore, he would have put that to sleep, and then there would have been nothing I could do. He would have been able to kill me at his leisure with Sludge Bomb. But anyway, leave a comment about who your favorite bulky, tanky Pokemon is. Now, obviously, Hippowdon did really, really well in this battle, and I do have a special place in my heart for Hippowdon, being that it was pretty much in my, pretty much all of my original Gen 4 battle videos. It was part of the team that I really, really liked. And I do like Hippowdon, but I have to probably give it to Cradily. Now, no, Cradily isn't quite as good, but I have some fond memories of Cradily too, and just a trolling people. But leave a comment on that. What's your favorite tanky Pokemon? I'm not talking about high attack powered Pokemon that rely on its bulk. So leave a comment about that, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Later.